Hey guys, welcome to another episode of Bowhunt or Die. Boy, Justin, sitting here and reviewing all the footage, I mean, it's a little sad that it feels like it's getting near the end. I don't know how.
It is a little sad. We're in December, late season, and unfortunately we have horrible weather for late season hunting. So I know you and I had a discussion at lunch today. We're both very appreciative of being tagged out here on bucks in Illinois so we don't have to endure the bad late season hunting right now.
Well, yeah, I mean, there's no question about it. For anyone who's been out there trying to put that last buck on the ground with the remaining days, I mean, weather has not been your friend, is not cooperating. They're calling for maybe 2-3 days of rain this weekend. I mean, of course, it depends on where you live and so forth, but that storm's pretty big coming up. But I mean,
talking
it's
60 degrees this weekend almost.
Right.
For middle of December is not the conditions we want for deer hunting by any means. But there's still plenty of time. We still got a month left.
Yeah.
Before the season ends here. So
don't give up. Don't hang up the bow. We're not saying that. But in the meantime, we can watch an inspiring hunt by Justin as he puts down his second Illinois buck.
I don't know about it inspiring. It was an interesting couple of hunts we have to show you. A lot of excitement. So let's not waste any more time. Let's dive into those hunts now.
November 1st and 2nd, this side of the farm just lit up with bucks. I gotta wonder if there's just a doe over here, this doe that comes into heat early every year. And this is just her area because I've seen 4, maybe 5 different bucks in here. He's clearly the dominant deer. He's tending her. He's been running the smaller bucks off. They stood up and he bred her a couple times, and then they both bedded back down. He's at about 75 yards. She's, I don't know, somewhere 60, 65. She's a little closer than he is, so I don't know. We'll see what happens when dark comes. If they make their way over here or not. Pretty awesome night. Well, I've got this buck bedded down out here about 75 yards in front of me. He's been laying there for, I don't know, a couple hours now. Hoping he's gonna get up before dark and move this way. There's a doe with him. I'm not sure where she's at. Just out in the grass somewhere, so. A couple times now I've watched him put his head down on the ground and actually lay down and sleep. I think he's got his head down right now, actually. That's pretty much going to wrap up my night. Sometimes it goes your way, sometimes it doesn't. Climbed in this stand tonight, had a buck shooter at 70 yards and watched him all night, and that was as close as she went the other way, and, well, as you can imagine, he went with her. Alright guys, I'm back in the same stand I've been in the last 2 days. I normally don't like to do this, but I'm pretty sure this buck that I'm looking for, Jay Cutler, has been locked down in here with a doe the last couple days. I'm hoping they're still in here. I know these does like to bed in this grassy area to my west, and then these little pockets of woods to my northwest. I got the right wind, so I figured it was worth a shot. He's really one of 2 bucks on the farm that we'd like to shoot, so kind of just going for broke. Next week and next weekend I'm probably going to be out at the lease, so we're going to give it our all and see what happens. Well guys, that was the deer I wanted. That's why I came back to this stand for the 3rd time. In 3 days, I've seen him all 3 times. He's just in here chasing these does around. I have a feeling if she would have stayed down here or crossed the creek, he would have come down, but he just tried to cut her off. 63 yards was as close as he got. I certainly am not comfortable with shooting it at a distance of 63 yards. No way. Oh, here comes there's another young buck that we call the Wide 8 Junior. He's coming right up here. Let's film him. morning, guys. It is November 7th. Probably, for us folks here in the Midwest, one of the best days of the year to hunt. We've got perfect conditions, bluebird skies, high pressure, a front just moved through. We had frost for only the second or third time this year. I mean, everything is shaping up for this to be a great day in the woods. I'm set up kind of near the middle of a pretty big block of timber. I got a big block that runs to my west, another to my south. I got a field over here, kind of on an inside corner type of thing. I got standing corn down below me. I know the deer like to bed up in this raspberry thickets up here, so man, I'm hoping a buck's gonna come cruising through. I already heard a couple grunts this morning down the valley, so you just need a big boy to work his way up here and give me a shot. Well, guys, we've had a really good morning so far. I've seen 9 or 10 different deer, 4 bucks. A couple of them were 2.5s. One was a pretty small 2-year-old. This one I rattled in here was a nice 2-year-old, but not the deer I'm looking to shoot. We had a spiker come by, and then I had a bigger buck back up behind me. I only got a glimpse of him. He came kind of running in pretty fast, and he hit the track of the doe and the fawn that was there earlier, and he went right after him. So I know he was definitely bigger than the couple 2-year-olds that I saw, but couldn't tell you what he was.
What? I don't even know what I saw. What happened?
What happened? I don't know what happened. That buck came in. I knew which buck he was. I had a bunch of trail camera pictures of him. Before I went out that morning, I'm like, I'm not going to shoot this deer. That's what I told myself. And then he came in, and I was like, I'm going to shoot this deer. And I just mentally was not in the game. I couldn't get him stopped on camera, and I tried unsuccessfully to pull off a Todd Graff at full draw, move the camera maneuver.
All year you've been trying to one-up me.
In doing so, I accidentally hit my release, and my arrow flew off into the woods. Luckily, I was able to recover it after it got dark, because I saw my lighted knock after it got dark that night. So that was the only good part about that. But yeah, it was not my finest moment in the woods, for sure.
I don't even know what to say. I mean, I'm watching that footage, and half of me is like, oh, he's not going to shoot this deer. Oh, he's going to shoot this deer. Maybe he's not going to shoot this deer. And then all of a sudden, you know, and then of course we got the what happened, Justin, before we filmed this, and it's I double punched the trigger, and I lost the footage right after it happened. So that would have probably been what really happened. But of course, that footage has gone completely missing. So I think there may be
you-
more to this story than the Zarr man is leading.
Well, you can
us
think
to
whatever
believe
you want.
here,
You
but-
can believe in ghosts and Santa Claus too, Mr. Graff.
But the footage is missing, just for the record.
Well, you can ask Brandon. So, guys, we're going to continue with my hunt. It continues the very next morning in Northwest Illinois. Let's go.
All right, good morning, guys. It is November 8th. I am back in the same tree where I killed my buck 3 weeks ago, to the day actually. Exact same conditions. Temperatures in the 20s, no wind. As they say, you could hear a mouse fart this morning. We're an hour or so after light. I'm way down in this bottom, so the sun is just about to get down to my level. It's just up in the treetops right now. I think I'm gonna rattle a little bit. I just shot a deer. I'm pretty sure that we call Slick 8, or just Slick. He's just a big Slick 8-point. He's got real, like, no brows, real short brows, kind of shaking like a leaf. I don't know if it's because it's cold or adrenaline, but I gave it about an hour after light. Didn't hear anything. I rattled. I heard something coming. I looked down. Here's this buck. He was no more than 40 yards when I first saw him. He came right. He was gonna come almost to the bottom of this tree. And he saw me up here. I couldn't get the camera turned. I'm sorry, guys. It's not the best footage in the world, but he turned. He was gonna go away. And he stopped at about 12 yards. And I drilled him right the top. He was facing away from me, but he was so close. I just put it right next to his spine and went all the way down through him. I gotta believe that's a dead deer with that big 1 3/4 broadhead going through him, but we'll see. I think I heard him crash down there, but only time will tell. We're gonna give it a little while. See what happens. Let's hope. November 8th. I am tagged out with 2 bucks from the same tree stand, so lightning may have just struck twice. Bowhunt or die, baby. Well, guys, unfortunately this deer has crossed into the neighbor's property. Just sent the neighbor a text that I shot one this morning, making sure it's okay if I go in there, and just waiting to hear back from him. I got good blood. I mean, we've only gone probably 100 yards, maybe 120 yards. I got good blood. Took him a little while to start bleeding, but he's bleeding real good now. I know this deer's not going to be too far away, but just got to get permission from the landowner before we go crossing the fence. So we're just going to wait here, and hopefully we hear back from him.
Well, guys, at this point, I'm by myself, trying to film as best as I can, but you guys, for those of you who have been there and you know when you can't find an animal, the wheels start to fall off and you become more concerned about the track job than the filming job. So to make a long story short, I got permission to go onto the neighbor's property. My buddy Troy Spolum showed up and was nice enough to help me that afternoon. We found our first bed probably 150 to 200 yards from the initial point of impact. He got up from there. We really had no idea where he went. We had no direction. We had no blood. So we kind of just started grid searching. Luckily, the other neighbor next door gave me permission to go on his farm. So we went in there. We were lucky enough, just by sheer chance, to pick up the blood trail again. And we followed it all the way across his property, eventually back out into the CRP field where we lost blood. We spent a couple hours grid searching and looking at all the trails coming in and out of the CRP field. We couldn't find anything, so in kind of a last-ditch attempt, we walked in a Little Finger Woods, and wouldn't you know it, we jumped the deer up out of his bed 8 hours after the initial impact. At this point, it was pretty clear that it was a single lung hit, and this deer obviously hadn't expired yet. So we already had kind of decided we were going to come back the next day to complete the track, but we did want to get a rough idea of where this deer was headed. We knew that he ran, pretty good. He was running pretty strong. So we did continue the track for a little bit further, and as fate would have it, this deer crossed into yet another piece of property. So now we're looking at our fourth piece of property this deer's gone on to. We did not have permission to go in there, but we were able to secure the landowner's information and give him a phone call. So we backed out for the night. We're able to get a hold of the landowner. He gave us permission to go in the following morning, so that's where the story picks up. Let's check it out. As well, day 2 of the track job. This is what happens when you fail to execute the shot that you should make. We're still on, pretty decent blood here. Troy and I jumped this deer yesterday after 8 hours. I think it's a single lung hit. And we jumped him and we tracked him to the edge of this property. We were able to get a hold of the property owner last night, and he gave us the okay to come in here and track. So we're going to continue following this blood trail, see what happens. If we can't find him, we're going to consider calling in somebody with a tracking dog. So let's go see what we can find. Is the antler laying?
Yeah, no, I
Oh my gosh. Are you kidding me? Dude, thank you.
Oh, that's nice of you there, bud.
Yep, I'm all right. Well, guys, here we are. Can't say I'm super proud of the shot I made on this deer. He came in on me at really close, 12 yards. I told Tommy that after the last time I hunted that stand, we needed to move it because if the deer came on that trail, it was going to be bad news. And sure enough, he came straight in on me. He saw me, turned around to leave. I took a shot. He was pretty darn near facing away from me. I wanted to put it back far enough where I would get it through the diaphragm, liver, lungs, and hopefully out of his heart. But unfortunately, I put it just too far forward. Exited out the front of him here. Fortunately, I was able to clip one lung, and I got to thank Troy, who's filming right now. I mean, he came out yesterday and helped me track this deer. I mean, we lost blood several times, and Troy just kept going back, and we were able to get on him. And then we jumped him up yesterday at about 3:30, so 8 hours after the hit, we jumped him and let him lay overnight. We contacted the landowner next door. He graciously allowed us to come in here to track this deer, and we probably haven't gone 150 yards. He bedded down and expired right here. So I'm extremely thankful to have found this deer. I wish I would have made a better shot at him, but I tell you what, guys, great way to end my 2015 season. This makes my 3rd buck of the year for me, so I'm officially tagged out on bucks here in Illinois. Looks like I'm cameraman from here on out. Hopefully I can film Tommy or Dustin or somebody shoot a nice one. So heck of a way to end my season. Bow hunt or die, guys. My one tip for this is if you do shoot a deer and you make a questionable hit, number 1, back out. We talk about it a lot, but number 2, just keep going. Perseverance. We kept after this deer and kept after him, and luckily we were able to recover him. So, Bow hunt or die, guys. Thanks for watching 2015 season.
I am not really sure where to begin with this hunt. I mean, these are some awesome hunts that you've had leading up to this day.
Yep.
And here we are, pulls out the rattle antlers, pulls in a super nice deer that you know you wanted to shoot for sure. Definitely got busted for sure. That deer is on super mega high alert. The deer is behind a tree.
Well, that I didn't know. I mean, the deer is to my hard left. So for those of you guys that self-filming, you got the camera wrapped all the way around you, and he's right there. I didn't want to move too much, so I moved enough to where I knew he was in the frame, and I didn't know he was behind that tree. But I mean, ultimately, I mean, looking back, you know, it's a shot I wish I wouldn't have taken. You know, yes, in the end, I got the deer. But a lot of times I think we watch these hunting shows, and I feel like when somebody makes a bad shot, they get the animal, and they don't talk about the bad shot or how they feel about making a bad shot. And all you see is the rah, rah, look at me at the end. And ultimately, I've always believed that to a young or an inexperienced hunter, it makes them believe that the ends justify the means, that it's okay to take a bad shot because you recovered the deer. And ultimately, it's not. I mean, I got lucky recovering that animal. I mean, we were one step away from not recovering that deer that entire track job, and I will be the first to admit it. I wish I wouldn't have taken that shot.
Well, wait, let's back up a little bit here. Now, I mean, Justin, I don't know if Justin's trying to push forward here to get to the next hunt, but we're going to have to continue with the Justin slaughter zone here. I mean,
Fair enough.
I appreciate the fact that Justin admits that he wished he wouldn't have taken that shot because, I mean, guys, Justin's right. You know, we watch these shows and we see things happen, and you're right. So much time, the focus is what? On the fact that we found the deer, but man, that deer was absolutely straight away from you. There was minimal quartering going on there at all.
Yeah,
I don't think there was any quartering.
There was very little room for error. You know, if I would have executed the shot I wanted to execute, the deer's dead. The problem is when you take a marginal shot, your room for error is just so small. And in the event that you are a little bit off, and I was just too high or too far forward, I mean, you guys see the product of what happens there. I mean, that's just proof positive of why you don't take a low percentage shot. And it was just ultimately what I did. You know, the deer was close. You know, here I am thinking I'm on a roll. I'm going to kill this thing. It's 12 yards away. I'm going to be tagged out. You know, and I got inside my own head, and it ultimately made me do something that I really shouldn't have done. And looking back on it, like I said, I'm not super proud of it. I was thankful that I recovered the animal. It was a very nice deer. I'm glad I'm tagged out, but you know, it's one of those things where you just live and learn and hope it doesn't happen again. Yeah,
and with that being said, I mean, the great lesson learned here, beyond this, don't take that shot, is the blood trail. I mean, and the work and the effort that went into finding this deer, getting permission from property owners, but more importantly, it was the classic one lung, and boy, can they go far. Yeah. And this was, I mean, living proof of this, despite waiting 8 hours. I mean, that deer needed the next day to really expire. It really did. Of course, by getting it up, did get that blood pumping. I was able to join in after that part there. Right. And when you and Troy got that deer up, I mean, there's no question about it. That deer's, you know, heart rate was going, and there was blood everywhere. I mean, we followed blood right to the deer. There was no question about the direction or where it went. So those one lung shots, you got to wait, you know, and the problem is, bang, you pick up that, the moment you see that bubble blood, what you're thinking,
well, yeah, you saw it in my interview. I'm like, I'm pretty sure this deer is going to be dead right up here because I had good lung blood. And, you know, as we all know how that turned out.
One lung, they can go far.
Yeah, the other thing I'll say is, I mean, I've always been of the opinion that once you hit about that 300-yard mark, I mean, if you haven't found the deer, your chances of finding it really start to go down. I've been a part of a lot of track jobs that have gone 3/4 of a mile, which is what we went, and they ended up, you know, with no deer at the end of them. So, you know, I do understand we got pretty lucky with that one, but hey, deer is dead. He's at the taxidermist now. I am tagged out, so I'm very thankful and happy for that. And we are now going to move on to the next couple of hunts.
Got something on your shirt here too, by the way.
Oh, what's that?
I'm not sure I got that.
Man, I wonder how that got
I'm always
there.
looking out for you.
Heck of a guy, Graf. So what are the next 2 hunts we got, buddy?
Well, next up we're going to join Clinton and his son. I mean, this is a really fun hunt. And then we're going to follow up with Tyler when he takes down a nice doe. So watch these great hunts.
All right, well, hey guys, today's Sunday. It's the afternoon of Sunday, November the 15th. Frank and I have been up hunting early all weekend. We haven't run into him yet. We've been seeing several deer going back out to the beans and starting to feed. So tonight, Frankie had to take his daughter to an awards banquet at school. So I tried talking my second cameraman, Avery, here into filming me shoot Ernie. He decided he was going to be a little greedy, and he thought it was his turn to shoot a deer since the rest of us have shot one. So we're back here tonight hunting over some radishes and some winter rye and oats. We're in a wagon blind. We've got a decent south wind. Hopefully that'll help us get away with a little bit of noise, but we've had several does coming out here. Avery, what are you after?
A buck or a doe.
Avery wants to shoot a buck or a doe, so we've got one fawn that just come out. As you can see, he's a lot like his dad and can't sit still, so this blind should help out. But anyway, we've got the crossbow. We're going to sit here and enjoy the evening. Avery, you got to quit moving, okay? What are you going to shoot her? That's the one you want to shoot. Are you sure?
Yes, I'm sure.
Okay, get your bow level. Click your safety off. Take your time right behind the shoulder. Wait till she stops. Take your time.
Yes.
What happened, buddy? What happened?
I shot it right. I shot it where you told me to. But I was shaking a little bit. So I shot it back a little bit more.
How'd you do?
Good.
Did you get her?
I'm pretty sure.
Yeah.
I don't know if the arrow went under her. Oh my gosh.
What do you think?
That was amazing.
Was it?
Yes.
Okay. What do you think?
I'm just so happy.
You're happy? Good job, buddy.
Can we go find it?
We gotta wait a little bit, okay? We gotta wait a little bit.
Get this off my feet.
Are you happy?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
I think we might have just created a monster there in that moment. So what are we getting ready to do?
We're gonna go find the deer. I said that in a weird voice.
Are you still excited?
Yeah.
All right, well, we come back here. We got Avery and Emerson
Egg Kai.
and the dog Kai, the kid's dog. You cannot leave the house without the kids. We've got this Australian Shepherd, and if you leave the house with the kids, he is going with you. So anyway, I guess he's going to go on his first blood trail. So I'm going to get him pointed in the right direction, and we'll see if they can find him.
Where did I shoot it? Mine's right there. We're gonna go up there in the edge. Look for some blood from the deer.
Check all the trails where they go in.
What, Daddy?
I'm coming.
Let you under the touch it. See if it's dead.
It's dead.
Okay. Look at that, guys. I know what I'm gonna name this deer.
What are you gonna name it?
Nubs.
You can drag it out. You shot it.
How am I gonna get it through that?
Well, the field's that way, dude.
Oh, but what about that tree right there?
Go around it.
Okay.
Get him out there in the field, and then we'll drive the truck to him. Pull him out there.
This is so heavy.
Well, you need some help?
Yeah.
Okay. All right, well, we recovered Avery's first deer. It wasn't much of a blood trail. Actually, Kai found it for us. He was in there growling. I mean, we knew where it went in the woods, but I was hoping there's a little more of a blood trail. But anyway, just a great night in the woods. My first deer, I killed my first deer on this farm a long time ago, and it was a button buck. And it was just a great night tonight. That he presented us with a great shot. He was 12 or 15 yards from the blind, so you know, just what we needed for Avery for his first deer. And I'm just so proud of him. It was just such a great night. We have had a great season, and this just tops it off.
Alright guys, well, we're just getting set up. Had a doe walk in. Got a little buck coming right here. Just got in the stand, it's 2 o'clock. Perfect. I've been trying to do an interview now twice. We've had a little doe, nice doe come through. Came right underneath that. I was gonna shoot her. Went to pull back. My release wasn't on my string. It was still in my pocket. I just got in here. I think these are the deer I jumped up walking in. I jumped up a little buck and 2 or 3 does, and they ran the way that these deer are coming back from.
I don't think it's a shooter, is it? Nope. 2-year-old. Pretty deer though. Gonna walk right underneath of me.
If a big deer did this, he would be dead. See, he's right underneath of me.
Beautiful little buck though.
We had 2 big deer on this farm, and one of them died of ADHD this year, so there's one left. I had pictures, last picture I had of him was on Halloween, so not real optimistic that he's still alive, but he could be. Coming right to the scrape tree. Coming right to me. It's the 3rd buck to walk on that trail in the last hour. We just passed up the 4th buck we've seen, the 3rd one on this trail, but they're definitely cruising. I mean, it's
We're over a brassica blend from Heartland Wildlife. Right here underneath that, maybe we got about, I don't know, a quarter of an acre maybe of food. And we just put anhydrous ammonia on this field we did last night. And then it rained, so the bucks are definitely up and cruising. The wind's really strong. Gusts are up to 40 to 50 mile an hour today.
Okay guys, well after reviewing the footage, I'm not sure. I know I got definitely guts, probably liver at the angle she was at. I didn't even realize she took a step right when I shot, I guess. It was actually before I shot, according to the video. I normally don't take walking shots, so I don't know what was going on. I mean, she's only 20 yards, but still, so I don't know. It's definitely farther back than what I like. But I think she's laying over there. I can't tell, and I really don't want to get down, but.
Alright guys, well, we're just getting back to the truck from hunting tonight. I shot a pretty big doe. We're pretty sure that from watching the video and stuff, I think what she did was she just hightailed it through the food plot and went in the woods, and then that's when I lost her. Probably like 30-40 yards in the woods there. We're gonna probably give her 4, 5, 6 hours, something like that, and come back later tonight and see if we can't find her before the coyotes do. So wish me luck guys, and we'll be back here in a little bit.
I don't have any blood yet. This is the trail she went in on though. I see my lighted knock. Yeah, I do. I see my lighted knock. Oh, I actually see her. Heck, I'm only 20 yards from the field edge. Yeah, that's her. My lighted knock's still in her. Or laying behind her or something here. That was a short track job. You don't even have a drop of blood yet. Lighted knock. My arrow, she must have pulled it out when she fell over. Yeah. Just laying there. Literally. That is a giant hole. Oh no, wait a minute. Ew. There's ants crawling in it. See those ants? That's the craziest thing I've ever seen. Meat-eating ants. There's ants all over.
Well guys, November 12th here, 2015. Fortunate enough to harvest a big mature adult doe tonight. We've been seeing a lot of yearling deer this year, and just no really mature bucks lately. Didn't get to hunt early season when I was getting all the daytime pictures of them. We were harvesting and we never had any rainy days to hunt, so you know, just started hunting pretty hard here this month. Got a newborn baby at home, so been trying to get as much sleep as possible, but it is the rut, and this big old doe came in all by herself and a buck never showed up, so I ended up shooting her, get one in the freezer so I don't have to stress out about it later. And this farm's just known for a lot of does and not very many bucks, so kind of why we came in here to hunt tonight, just to break the ice and hopefully get some meat in the freezer. So you don't hear people shooting does on November 12th too often. Usually people are holding off for a big buck, but I'm just not seeing them. So hopefully, we got lots of food scattered throughout the county to hunt this winter. So if it turns off cold and snowy, we should be good. I got 2 tags in my pocket for $1 or for $2, and a couple more doe tags, and I'm gonna start shooting. So we're gonna get this big girl home, and I'll gut her and put some ice in her chest to keep that meat from spoiling, and because I'm sure she's probably pretty warm already. It's been about 6 hours since I shot her, so kind of thinking that we would have had a long track job, but she only ran about 60 yards, so that's why we like them. I'm gonna get her loaded up, hopefully by myself, and we'll see you guys in the tree stand maybe tomorrow. Bow hunt or die.
Well, Todd, that hunt with Clinton and his son, I mean, that's just the classic. That's what we love to see. Reminded me a lot of Dean out with his daughter, shooting his very first deer. Come on, man.
No, nothing.
And you just see the sheer excitement that you cannot reproduce in an adult. No matter how excited we get when we shoot a big buck, we will never be as excited as that little boy was shooting his first deer. That was awesome to watch.
I think if you put me, Clinton, and Avery together,
oh man,
dude, we have enough energy between the three of us, man. We all need.
We'd have to pump the box blind full of Ritalin to settle all you guys down. So after that, we go into Tyler's hunt. Ultimately, I think that was one of those things where it looked like it was a worse shot than it was, but at that angle, that arrow buried all the way up in there, and as you guys saw, that deer didn't make it very far. But like we were talking, the hardest part about those shots is there's no exit, and the entrance is high, which is what we saw, and there was zero blood trail.
No blood, right.
So, he I don't want to say he got lucky recovering that animal because he made a pretty good shot, but, those are the ones sometimes you have to persevere on those blood trails. So, guys, that's all the hunting action for this week. Todd, trophy photo time. You ready?
Let's do this.
Let's do it.
Austin Parks.
Dexton Lively.
Michael Patterson.
Stephen Miller.
Stephen Georgie.
Tara Elaine.
And Shelby Sharp. Hey guys, those are some great trophies. We appreciate you sending them in. Of course, if you want to see yourself right here on an episode of Bow Hunt or Die, just email them to us to info@bowhunting.com, or of course you can submit them on our Facebook page. If you don't appear on the show, of course it was Justin's fault. But
everything's my fault around here, so I'm used to it. So guys, that's all the action we've got for this show. We already talked about late season. We've got warm temperatures. Hopefully some cold and some snow moves through and gets these deer on their feet, hitting some of these food sources. Last thing we want to talk about, Christmas. Guys, Christmas is coming up. We still have some great Bow Hunt or Die and bowhunting.com gear available for sale in our store. Thank you to everybody that participated in our Christmas special that we had. We sold a pile of sweatshirts, so hopefully some of you guys and gals out there are going to unwrap those on Christmas Day and enjoy a nice gift pack. So anything else you want to say?
Yeah, one more thing before we go, because I feel like we're not giving the viewers, something to go on if you haven't filled that tag yet. Justin, right now, what would you do? I mean, if you were in this situation, and you've been there before, when your tags are
and
not
it
filled.
hasn't worked out good for me. Food. It's all about food during the late season. The rut's just about over. We need some cold temperatures to get them on their feet. My trail cameras are still telling me these deer really aren't moving until after dark yet. So personally, I'd wait till it gets cold and hunt food.
I mean, for myself, you know what? I would definitely start looking for those spots that have been, overlooked. There's always those spots, sometimes they can be closer to houses. Sometimes they can be off the beaten path. The deer have been pressured now for months and pushed around. So, I would definitely look for some of those weird spots. And like Justin said, wait for the cold fronts and, get into the food. But if we don't get those cold fronts, you're going to have to
hunt. And I'm still going to hunt food in the afternoons. One thing I would do is trail cameras in time-lapse mode. If you don't have a ton of cameras to put out and you've got some that can work in time-lapse mode, putting them up over those cut cornfields or those food plots are going to tell you when and where the deer are coming out. You may have to move a stand. You may have to put up a ground blind. You may have to hunt from the ground. You may have to do something you don't normally do.
That's easy.
But yeah, get in there and get on those deer, and there's still a month left. So hopefully those of you that still have tags will be able to fill them before the end. So that's it for this week's show. Guys, we'll see you next week right here on Bow Hunt or Die with some more great bow hunting action.
For more exciting action, be sure to follow us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram and receive live updates from our team members as well as the latest happenings in the bow hunting and archery world. Be sure to share your photos, stories, and experiences as well. And don't forget to pick up your official bowhunting.com and bowhunter.die gear by visiting bowhunting.com/gear. We have a full selection of hats, shirts, decals, wristbands, and much more.
I don't think that counts as a miss. It's more of a snafu, I would say.
Yep, got it. Short and sweet, to the point.
Hey, that was a great deer. No.
Hey, Avery, that's a great buck. Congratulations. Now to the trophy photos.
Steven Gregoria. That wasn't right. Steven Jajori.